Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today I'm returning to Ultimate General Civil War. Why, you might ask? Well, that's because there's a new patch out as of today, which adds the Battle of Fredericksburg. I could go back through and play the campaign all again and try and get past Antietam, which I'm debating doing from the Union perspective, but in the interest of showing off the new battle, I'm going to just be fighting a historical battle. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm going to be fighting the historical Battle of Fredericksburg. And we'll see how this brand new battle that was just added to this early access real-time game plays out. So, as you can see here down at the bottom of the screen, it gives us a little bit of an update. It says December 11th through the 13th, 1862, Major General Ambrose Burnside is the new commander of the Army of the Potomac, replacing McClellan. On the 14th of November, 1862, he begins a strategic maneuver to cross the Rappahannock River and advance to Richmond. He decides to cross the river at Fredericksburg, but the necessary pontoon bridges delay too much to arrive, giving Lee precious time to reinforce the area. After many days, on the 11th of December, 1862, the Union Army is finally able to cross the Rappahannock. On the other side, the whole Confederate Army of Northern Virginia awaits entrenched, occupying the heights south of town. So we'll go ahead and select this. I think we're going to fight as the Confederacy. I don't know how long I'm going to stream tonight, but it's certainly possible we could fight the battle from both sides. But I'm going to fight as the Confederates in my initial playthrough. I don't know if it's easier, but I feel like defending is a little bit easier. So we'll see how this works out. So we're going to fight it as a Brigadier General, just sort of normal difficulties, and then go from there. Now, those of you who may recall, that write-up of the battle was pretty accurate. You know, his plan is bold, executed slowly. That's not really the case. Lee actually was caught completely off guard by Burnside. He was kind of lulled into a false sense of security of George B. McClellan always acting slowly, and when Burnside took over, he consulted with Lincoln. He told him about this idea. He told him it was critical that the pontoons get there on time, and he moved sharply, and he caught Lee off guard. He arrived across Fredericksburg without the Confederates being there at all, caught Lee completely by surprise, and the pontoon bridges were literally weeks late. Even if it had just been a few days late, he would have been okay to get his bridges across, but by the time the bridges did arrive, Lee was in position, and he was basically forced into a situation of, you know, you did this strategic maneuver, you can either pull back or you can attack, and politically speaking, he was not forced, but he was in a difficult spot as a new Army commander, where he decided to launch the attack. Anyway, those of you who know, Fredericksburg turned into pretty much a total disaster, with Union launching ineffective attacks against Confederate troops positioned behind some stone walls here on Mary's Heights, just opposite of the town, after street fighting erupted in the town when the Union crossed the river. That's why we're going to fight as the Confederates, because I think it might be a little bit more straightforward to play as for a first playthrough. So you can see here, it's saying the enemy army, I believe this is just the first phase, is one corps with 2 divisions and 8,800 troops. That's definitely not the case. The Union Army at Fredericksburg had 3 wings, and I think it was 3 wings. It might have been 2, but I think it was 3 wings of over 80,000 men. The Confederates, on the other hand, had about 50, 60,000 men, and they definitely had more than 1,900 men. So I'm guessing this battle, it was fought from December 11th to December 13th. I'm guessing that this is a multi-phase engagement. So we'll go ahead and jump in, and you can see here the Army of the Potomac is preparing to cross the Rappahannock River at Fredericksburg. We have destroyed all bridges, but the Federals can pass via pontoon bridges that their engineers construct several days now. Have been constructing for several days now, is what I would say. We delay their engineers with snipers, but they're progressing and will soon complete 2 bridges at this section. Okay, 2 bridges up there. A few hundred meters away, they construct another bridge on the south side of the town. And then 3 bridges get built eastwards and allow the control of the southern area of the town. So there were bridges further down the river as well. I think they're way south there was a ford, right? The main attack is expected from this side. We've heavily defended Prospect Hill with the divisions of AP Hill, D.H. Hill, Early, and Jackson, but the Union would desperately want it. because it controls the railroad that provides us with supplies and a fast route to Richmond. So this is the southern flank of the battle that doesn't get a lot of coverage, but was probably actually where the Union had their biggest opportunity. The divisions of Pickett and Hood are defending this hill, and it secures the Telegraph Road. The ground is very hard, so probably the Federals will not attempt to attack here. Okay. We're going to go up to Mary's Heights. Mary's Heights oversee the town. General Longstreet's prepared entrenched positions that can resist any Union assault if they're mad to attack us here. Hint, hint, if it follows history, they will. Okay, the stone wall situated south of the town is an extra defensive barrier that can stop the Union infantry from advancing further. Okay, so this is the first phase. So that was kind of an overall preview of the whole battle. Right now we have our snipers are harassing the engineers who work day and night to finish the pontoon bridges. Enemy infantry advances. They're determined to secure the town. So you can see here our first objective for 2 hours here is to hold Fredericksburg. You can see here the enemy has 3 brigades. Interesting, when I haven't really played the game a whole lot, but when I did kind of click around, I just kind of looked to see, you know, how difficult would this scenario be. And as the Union, you only started with 2 brigades, not 3. Now, the nice thing about being in a town is you've got ridiculously good cover. You can see here 99 cover. We don't have any artillery by the looks of it. We've got 1 skirmisher unit guarding the southern bridge. I'm going to leave them there in case the Union have any other forces south. You can see they've got some artillery across the town, and they're charging across. Now, historically, the Union launched an attack with boats. They actually, like, put troops in essentially what would have amounted to assault boats, and they crossed the river under sniper fire. The game is obviously not representing that. So it looks like we drove back Owen here. But the enemy has 2 more brigades, almost 4,000 men across. I'm going to pull these guys north. The objective is north, and it doesn't look like there's anything developing here on the south. Granted, we're only 15 minutes in. This brigade could swing south now that we've driven them back. Let's see. I don't know if the enemy's getting cover from being in the town or not. We'll find out here in a second after this next volley. Yeah, they're getting some level of cover because we're not inflicting that many casualties on them. Owen's reforming and coming north. I'm going to send these skirmishers around. And, whoops. So basically getting our skirmishers, hopefully, to deal with 1 enemy brigade. Uh-oh. Well, our skirmishers are stuck in a melee, which is not a recipe for success, as they lose half their strength. The other thing here is we don't have any supply wagons. I don't think we'll run through our ammo that quick, but it's certainly possible. Gonna expose my flank a bit if we can volley at these guys exposed in the open. Actually, my flank's still covered. That's good. There you go. These guys out in the open on this bridge, they get butchered. The enemy was able to cross that bridge pretty darn quick, get out of my fire really fast. Faster than I would have liked. But we've basically destroyed half of Owen's brigade. Not half, but 200 men from it. Okay, so this is just kind of... Why are you engaging in a melee? It did not tell you to do that. Idiots. Go figure, they surrender. Well, probably... don't know, as long as we hold this objective until the time runs out. This particular phase of the battle thus far could be more interesting. God, these skirmishers are so useless. I wish I could combine these guys into a brigade or something. They're just useless in a city environment where their fire is nothing more than a little bit of harassment, really. Oh no, Barksdale's killed. Commander of our infantry brigade's killed. That means they're going to take a pretty big morale hit, which could hurt our ability to hold back these massive hordes of Union troops. And now they're actually exposing themselves out of cover now that they're engaging in this melee, kind of in this open area to the just slightly east of the city. They're not in a quite as good a cover. And you can see it claims they're flanked. They're definitely outnumbered with the troops they're meleeing with. Maybe we can move these skirmishers into the rear of the enemy. What weapons do these guys have? Springfield. Springfield. Okay, so... Good. Actually, I want you to volley these guys. Since they're exposed, retreating across the bridge, it'd be great to get a volley in on them. Do some real damage. Meanwhile, just kind of have these skirmishers harass Hall's brigade. Barksdale's a 3-star brigade, so he's a very experienced brigade. Who can use this cover well as he continues to hit Sully as he retreats across the river. Yeah, equipping Barksdale with some MG42s might help. Just a little bit. So Sully's retreating. Chew Owens up a bit there. He is flanked. But his morale's holding relatively strong here, despite being flanked. That's again because he's in such good cover that he might be flanked, but he's not taking much in the way of casualties. Looks like a new federal brigade under Kimball is coming up. I have to try and hit them before they cross. Man, Owens getting chewed apart. Another brigade under Palmer as well. I'm banking on it would take too long for the Union to flank all the way south. No, you're going to want to shoot at Kimball as he comes across. Or Palmer. Palmer's a 2-star brigade there, so he's got a little bit of experience. What are these guys doing? Shoot at Kimball as he crosses. There you go. Nice volley in there. Looks like he's almost 150 plus casualties per volley. Now, of course, they're going to get stuck in a melee rather than reloading and firing another volley. Another 45 minutes to hold out. This is gonna be tricky. Look at that morale plummeting. Probably should fall back some. I don't want him getting flanked. God damn it. That fallback didn't work quite as well as I had hoped. Took a lot of morale casualty, or morale losses. Wait, why is Kimball pulling back across an open bridge? Can you hit him from here? Where's your firing arc? Okay. So far, so good. I don't see any troops heading south as far as my line of sight tells me. Barksdale's brigade's doing pretty well. Skirmishers are running low on ammo. That's not great. But we're 75% through this fight. Wow, Kimball's really pulling back there. I didn't think I hurt him that bad. It was a very interesting battle so far. Not super exciting because we have so few forces in place. It's kind of like, alright, well. Reload faster. Fire a volley point blank at them. That didn't do like anything because they're already in the roads. Our morale is back up a bit. Just as I say that, it starts dropping pretty precipitously. Okay, gotta try and move these guys up to the objective, just because I think the way it works is if they have more men than I do within the objective zone, then they win the objective. These guys aren't going to stick around. Can we... Are these part of Barksdale's? Can we... No, they're not. I was going to say, it would be nice to attach them to Barksdale. Pull back. Oh, there he is. He's blinking white, so it looks like they may start retreating. Melee's over. They're reloading their guns. They're flanked. But these guys are low on ammo, so that's a good. And pound them. Yes! Retreating across the open bridge. Uh-oh. Union hordes are coming. Got a good volley in on Kimball on the bridge there. 3-1 casualties. Barksdale's holding his own. If they don't press too hard, there's not that much time left. Drawing Hall away from the objective, just like I intended. There you go. Looks like we're going to hold, guys. Looks like we're going to hold. I'm sure as soon as I say that, he'll charge forward and take the objective. It's like as soon as they cross this bridge, they're in city territory. But there's no homes there. They shouldn't get cover. The city should not start till you get into the buildings. But, oh well. Time is up, so we should be good. Finish. Withdraw from the town. Alright, so that was December 11th. December 12th, I guess not much happened. Our remaining forces that were defending the town have withdrawn to the heights. On the 12th of December, the Union has crossed the river with a large part of their army, and today they seem to be mobilizing for an attack. Okay, so the Union has crossed into Fredericksburg, which I think, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but Fredericksburg is where Robert E. Lee, I want to say it's where Robert E. Lee got married. In a church in Fredericksburg. I know he was very sentimental about the city. There was a family connection there, but I can't remember what it was. You can see here the scenario. This is probably the largest, at least stock scenario. I know the campaign scales, but this is 180,000 men. 7 Union corps, 18 divisions, 172 brigades. Good God. 114,000 soldiers, 263 guns. Versus the Confederates didn't have 4 corps. That's garbage. It should be 3 corps. 10 divisions, 70 brigades, 73,000 troops, and almost 200 guns. Ooh, this is going to be a big fight. I'm going to check in with the chat here real quick. What do you guys think? We're outnumbered by 40,000 men, outnumbered by almost 100 guns, but we've got good defensive terrain. Press F to officiate Lee's wedding. I mean, if we hold Mary's Heights, shouldn't we hold Mary's Heights? All right, here we go. Left Grand Division, commanded by Major General William B. Franklin, appears ready to advance. Nearly 45,000 soldiers approaching us. Concentrate most of your forces to protect Prospect Hill. Stuart's cavalry guards our right and should be used defensively. All right, let's pause this for a second. Okay, so this looks like it's the attack on the Confederate right. This is actually where the Union met with the majority of their success historically at the Battle of Fredericksburg. They found a gap between the Confederate lines, and General Meade's division, I believe it was, attempted to exploit the gap and move through it. Let's see here. I want to get these guys in good cover. They're in good cover, but I'd like them to have better fields of fire, so I'm going to put them in front of these guns, and then I'm going to dismount them, because I think cavalry trying to hold a position would be better dismounted. Now, what would be awesome is if we could launch a cavalry charge into the Union flank, and if we could launch a cavalry attack into the Union flank, just charging full-on melee, that would be pretty sweet. But that won't happen. So we're getting these guys off their horses. You can't see it yet, but I think once we unpause it, they will be. Shouldn't they be dismounting? Maybe they dismount when they get to the objective. Meanwhile, I'm kind of surprised there's no defensive. Okay, so here's one defensive fortification. Here's another. Kind of out front, if you will. We've got 2 brigades along some breastworks or earthworks. These look like they should be guarded better. I'm going to go ahead and send these guys. Are these guys in reserve? What are these guys doing way back here? We're going to move these guys over to the flank. These guys here. That way they don't get around Pender's flank, because that looks pretty exposed to me. I'm also going to send this guy between these 2 brigades, because I don't see any troops there. I don't think I can put them there, because there's already guys in those earthworks or breastworks. They kind of end here, though. It's almost like we'd be better off with a bigger brigade. Maybe with these 1,900 men. Maybe we would do that. I'll go put these guys in reserve here by these woods. So we'll move 2 brigades kind of into reserve over by those woods. And I think I'll leave the rest in place for now. That's a good call. Maybe I merge. Let's see here. What division is this part of? 2nd Division, 2nd Division, 2nd Division. So I'm actually going to send Lane over here to merge with Pender. Then I'm going to swing Hoke in to take Lane's spot. So we'll see how that works out. Actually, wait a minute. That may be a mistake. Let's see here. Hoke should probably stay in. Well, Lane. So I'm keeping Greg and Archer here. Walker is positioned behind these guns. The game also introduced friendly fire, I think, or removed it. I'm not sure which. But that makes me kind of nervous about this artillery out here in the front. but we may have to shift some troops around to make sure we're protecting our guns adequately. And then Doles, I'm going to swing up here. This looks like an ammunition stash or something, supply. So that's good. Where's our supply wagon? Let's bring him over here where I won't miss him. And we're moving this cavalry forward, but again, I don't want the enemy to get into any sort of gap. So I think we'll leave these guys as is right now. We've got artillery covering this flank that can fire into the federal flank. We got 4 hours. We'll see how this works out. No sighting of the enemy yet. Our cavalry, I hope these guys are armed with carbines. Okay, they are. I think they're still in good cover where they're at. They are. I'd like to get them in as good a cover as possible, but also, like, not giving the enemy the ability to close and get inside our cover. You can see here, very heavily wooded. Green's a little bit exposed. He's kind of in the open. You know what would be interesting is if there was a laydown command. But these troopers all look to be in pretty good shape. We can advance into the Union flank if we have to. See here the initial federal advance. 3 brigades, about 4,600 men right here. Some guns are coming forward. Let's pause this real quick. Can we merge these guys? These two are in the same division, aren't they? Can we not combine these guys? Doesn't look like we can combine these guys. Alright, well we're going to put Lane in there, and we're going to swing Pender over there. If we can't combine them, if it won't let us combine those 2 units, Lane can cover more frontage because he's got more men. I should be scouting. That's a good call out, but I'm going to run Pender into place. So the enemy's marching guns right up to our front. But fortunately, they just took over 200 casualties to that artillery. Well, not 200, but over 100 casualties. Just to those guns alone. So these guys are forming up, but they're all in the open. I'm tempted to advance my cavalry into their flank, but I think there's probably a lot more of them than we see right now. Okay, so apparently you can't combine if it makes the brigade larger than 2,500 men. That makes sense. Meredith is coming up. Look at that line of Federals. Good lord, that's a lot of Federals. I need like a 25... This breastwork is too long. It should not just be one brigade that has to mount that whole thing. These guys are not in as good a ground as they should be. Alright guys, the footage you've been watching is actually from a 2-hour live stream that I played the day that the Fredericksburg battle became available in Ultimate General Civil War. I'm not going to post all 2 hours at once. I'm actually going to cut this into pieces, so this is not replacing my campaign series of Let's Plays, but it is in addition to, because this was a new battle that just came out and I wanted to show that off. So look for another one of these in a couple of days. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.